I have to admit that episode 10 of Solo Leveling is one of those examples where the characters do something that you're like, why the hell are you doing this? Like, how stupid can you be? Let's buy out every single C rank dungeon and complete them as fast as possible with one single group. That's not going to catch the attention to anybody. It's like literally the Tiger Guild's like, we got no C rank, like we can't even train our people. Let's look into it. Because obviously if a group is soloing all the C rank dungeons in a very quick way, that's not going to throw up red flags at all. I mean, it also goes kind of along with the whole aspect that it seems to indicate that the whole incident with King is, I don't know that they're specifying that it's public knowledge, because it's not like Sung's sister is like, holy crap, you just got done this whole incident again. This is the third incident. So it's obvious that it's not publicly being known. I mean, she did know about the whole double dungeon thing because he literally almost died and he was in the hospital for a long time, but it doesn't seem to indicate that she knows about, you know, the whole incident with King or the whole, like, there's three total big incidents. Again, the other one is being the S rank's brother, that whole incident as well. That stuff's not public knowledge, but at least it seems to indicate that at least the guilds know about it, because they looked into it pretty quickly and found out that yes, Sung was a part of these three incidents. But still, it's like, let's just throw a bunch of attention upon ourselves by doing this. I'm not surprised. I'm more surprised that it was only the Tiger Guild that was looking into it. Like, they actually found this whole situation, because it seemed like all the guilds would have figured this out pretty quickly. But again, I guess it's more kind of giving credit to Jinho, Yo, and, well, yes, Sung as well, their desire to get this stuff done quick. And I think this is a realization moment. I didn't really get an indication from the anime, but more so from the manhwa, that at this point Sung's going, yeah, I guess we gotta slow down. This is obviously throwing up some massive red flags, and that's why we're getting looked into. And I think that from that point on, they're like, okay, let's sell our stuff. Well, it's specifically just that day, but at least kind of shows, oh yeah, we need to dial it back a little bit. We're going a little bit too quick here, and we're getting attention, and we don't need that attention, because that's literally how he sort of put together his agreement with Jinho, was this idea that we're going to do it with just you and me. We'll have some people outside. We'll pay them a whole bunch of money, which, man, that's like $2,000 USD per gate. They're paying each one of these people just to sit outside, and they're doing them very quickly. So $6,000 a day just from that. And so that's kind of like, yeah, especially for this high schooler, she's like, damn, $6,000 per day just sitting around having cupcakes. It's kind of a massive deal there. But anyways, yeah, the episode in general, pretty decent episode. It kind of really, for me personally, was kind of a cool episode to kind of show at least this kind of bond that's being formed between Jinwoo and Jinho. Like, they're the bros going into the dungeons and taking them out. Jinho's like, can I get you a coffee or something like that, bro? I almost got all the mining stuff done, while the entire time Jinwoo was just destroying everything and taking care of him and protecting him and everything. Although he did let him get chased by a snake for a little bit. Bad bro. But yeah, pretty interesting kind of little setup here, them doing these dungeons. Well, at first it technically opened up with Joohee. Joohee's done. Joohee's gone, which that was kind of a surprise for me. I didn't really think that they were going to have her completely leave the whole thing. I mean, I like it. It makes sense to her character, and I kind of want her to get out of the situation. Like, girl, you're not doing well with this. Like, everybody keeps pointing out, this girl is not handling this very well. She needs to get out of this. And it seems like she finally took her parents up on her offer. Just go back home. Just get out of this business. This is obviously something that you can't handle. She's been mentioning the idea that I should be doing these higher dungeons, but I've been doing the lower ones, and that's how I met you. And I'm obviously not going to ever have the light that you have in your eyes. Every time you're doing this, you always have this vitality in your eyes. You're always looking to survive. I can never have those. So I'm obviously failing. It's a bold move to take. It's a bold move to take for a character, and the idea that they just give up. Like, it's never going to happen. Don't go the route of, I'm going to keep trying until I eventually die, or go the route of they overcome it or whatever. It's okay to just say, no, I'm never going to do this. Now, granted, they could bring her back into the picture later on. My prediction right now is it could be the island thing they keep kind of snippeting, which again is something they're doing in the anime, which I'm guessing is something that comes up later in the manhwa. This whole thing with Choi. He's like desperate to go to this island and seek his redemption. And it might be eventually he offers to Joohee to come there. And that's how Joohee is going to get back into the picture. But we'll see. She could eventually get kind of roped into something. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a thing where she gets, like, somebody finds out that she's connected to Song and uses her. I can see that happening with that S rank, Huang. He could technically find out that she's somehow connected and then kidnap her. That's sort of what the guy Wo is sort of threatening to Sung. Like, dude, you got the attention of somebody, and we can't control these S ranks. And so eventually they're going to come for you. This guy is going to come for you. He's going to get revenge for his brother. He just sees it. S ranks, they can't. It is kind of a scary thought process, but it makes sense to the world. These hunters have these powers that are not human, and thus the governments cannot control them. And I think they kind of indicated that when they first showed Huang's brother, well, the elder Huang, and the idea that he's like literally, how does the politics work in that region? Oh, they're not a part of this Hunters Association agreement, so you'll probably be tried here. And obviously, if they get tried here, there's such a benefit to society here that they're probably going to overlook it. They'll probably just slap your hand and say, "Hey, sorry about that slapping of the hand, but look sad because we're punishing you," and then nothing really comes of it. Again, I kind of see him probably coming back in the picture, and I hope they don't do that, but they could have him go after Joohee to get to Sung. But we'll see. He might just go directly to Sung, it'll eventually come up that they're going to go into a gate together, and then he shows up and goes, "Oh, wow, you must be that Sung guy. Let's go in there, buddy," and then slaps him on the back and kind of just rubs his fingers into him. But we'll see. We'll see. But that's obviously a big driving force for Sung in this episode is I need to get stronger. And yeah, I guess that is the offset to my what the hell are you doing to drive all this attention to yourself? It's kind of dumb. Is that he has this driving force to keep getting stronger. He can't do what Wo tells him. Just run. Take your family and go. I can't really do that. My mother's in a hospital. I can't just uproot and just go. She's there and she has to stay there. So my only option is to get stronger. And so that's kind of, again, makes sense to him doing something reckless like this with Jin Ho is like, okay, let's just kind of keep doing these dungeons, get stronger, whatnot, which seems to be happening. This episode, we've seen quite a bit of build-up for him. He's obviously just finally used that stealth rune. He's able to use that. But it was interesting to finally get an answer as to why he will ever need intellect. My initial assumption when he was first bringing up the idea of intellect was, okay, that's for spells. So maybe eventually he's going to kill something that gives him a spell, which technically is true because he is getting runes, even though they're from other hunters, it seems like he hasn't gotten a rune from somebody like a monster. So it seems like possibly runes are only going to come from high-rank hunters, which he kind of admits in this episode. I kind of hate how I got this, but I kind of like it. But it at least indicates in this episode that it still is a thing that he needs because it seems like in the mechanics that he's using, yes, it looks like skills take mana as well, which is interesting. I every now and then you play a game where intellect is a part of an actual World of Warcraft. That was kind of a dumb thing they got rid of eventually, is this idea that, yes, even though you're a melee class, you're technically using mana, which was kind of dumb. But yes, his skills, which like with stealth, it apparently uses 200 and then 10 seconds or 10 mana every second. And additionally, the Vital Strike ability that he gets uses 70. So it does despite the fact that he currently is mostly just, he is by all accounts, all of his abilities are physical. They're assassin abilities or rogue-like abilities. He's still using mana. So he still technically needs intellect. And as he's using more of these skills, he's going, okay, now I need to start actually leveling up my intellect, which was interesting. Again, very cool. But additionally, the other thing that we get with this episode for his leveling up is he reaches at level 40, at which point he reaches the point to change jobs, which currently he has no job, which that was interesting. I was thinking that he might have like a rogue class or something like that specification, but it seems like he doesn't have a job. So he's going to be going to do a job up. Question mark, what is his job going to go into? That's the curious thing, because if he does this quest to unlock a job, is it strictly he's going to get a job given to him, or is he going to be able to choose a job? Now that's a curious question mark. Will he be able to? I mean, I was talking about a while back that there's obviously several different jobs they've kind of pointed out. I mean, with Kang, he was an assassin. And then you have other situations where there was one point where he was looking through listings for job opportunities, and one was looking for a summoner, which I thought was like a demon controller or something like that, which I thought was really interesting. I'm curious if he's going to be given a job, or if he, and by the way, source material readers, I don't need to know. I'm just speculating. Or is he just going to go for the status quo? Okay, well, I've been fighting with my weapons all this time. Let's just do a weapon-based ability. Let's go with assassin. That's a question mark. I'm curious if the situation with Huang is going to sort of, I guess, push him in a direction. I guess the question mark is if he's given an opportunity to choose, will his choice be based on his survivability, or will it be based on his dungeon diving? Because yes, in a lot of cases, with a lot of different types of class-based systems, what your choices are is typically PvP or PvE. This idea of, I'm going to be fighting a lot of monsters, PvE, so I want to have a job that is suited for that. So I will go for a more, straight offensive, maybe a little bit defensive type of move set. Whereas I'm not going to go for like an assassin where I'm sneaking up on enemies and stabbing them, because I'm not going to do as much damage as if I was a barbarian or something like that. Whereas over here, if his choice for a job is driven by his fear currently of being hunted down, currently his stealth ability is working really well for him in, basically pushing people in the real world to his direction, threatening them and whatnot. So this idea of Huang coming after him, he might go for an assassin class. That'd be very curious. And again, the other question mark is, will he be able to change classes on a regular basis? Does he always have to do a job quest in order to change it? Or is he going to have the flexibility of choosing his job whenever he wants? All that stuff is curious question marks that I'm already kind of bringing up, because this has been kind of presented as the next step for him, is this level 40 going into a new job. He also kind of specified that he feels like he is sort of in the area between B and A, and he needs to obviously get to S rank because an S rank's coming after him. I'll be curious if by the end of this season, will we actually get this Huang guy actually showing up? Because yes, we are at episode 10 of 12. So I would assume that the job changing quest that he's currently doing is going to be a single episode. And then what is episode 12 going to be? Is episode 12 literally Huang shows up and he fights and beats Huang? Or is it going to be doing the job quest and then, I don't know, trying out the job is episode 12 and then see you next season possibly, question mark? I kind of assume this is going to be something that A1 Pictures and the production committee want to continue to do and going forward, but you never know. This could be a single one and done. Also, technically based on a lot of ranking sites not really showing solo leveling doing that great in Japan, but it could just be doing very well in the West, and they want to keep kind of hitting this franchise and making it their next big kind of epic shonen series. But anyway, I went on a long side tangent in this whole thing about Joohee leaving, so we'll see if that comes up again. But yeah, going forward from there, they start to do their dungeon diving. Like I said, I really like the chemistry between Jinho and Jinwoo, just kind of the bros going in there and dungeon diving. How shocked everybody obviously is outside to the fact they actually lived. It seemed to indicate that one of the people there, Jinwoo's sister's friend, is there, and she is, a registered hunter. She's an official hunter, but yet she's never done anything because she's obviously a high schooler. I finally seen her show up after so many scenes of randomly showing her and there's been no significance whatsoever to her. She's finally showing up. So I'm curious eventually if she's going to tell his sister what's going on there. She's obviously skipping school to do this. And again, I would do it if I was getting paid $6,000 a day to do that. But they also had some other guy there that was kind of indicating that he's some sort of longtime veteran. I'm going to assume that I was assuming early on that he was going to be the one that's going to rat them out, but it just seems like he's probably a hunter that used to be a hunter, and then something terrible happened and then became an alcoholic. That seems to be it's indicated that he's like the veteran that has kind of slumped and he's just kind of drinking his woes away. But other than him kind of having a little bit of a snooty attitude early on, it doesn't seem like there's any indication that anybody else in the group is going to be kind of turning on them and ratting them out, which again, it doesn't seem like that's the issue because it seems like everybody knows what's going on, and so there's no ratting need to be happening. But yeah, eventually the Tiger Guild guy, manager guy, figures out and goes to confront him. It was kind of one of those interesting things where, yes, very quickly, Jinwoo sort of once again does a very dumb decision here. Like, I would see him like being confronted by this guy, play the dummy, just play ignorance, and going, well, I don't know, he just offered me a bunch of money. I think he's doing something for his dad or something like that. Just keep it between us. I think he's just some rich boy that's trying to impress his dad. I don't really know what he's doing. We're not really even doing much in those dungeons. We actually have a whole crew that comes in there. Just play it off. But no, he's actually going, oh, well, how much are you going to pay me? Yeah, they're paying me $50 billion. It's like, why are we admitting this? Like, why are you divulging all this information to him? Like, he very quickly goes, okay, into the route of, you've been looking into me and I'm going to threaten you in order to shut you up. But why would you provide him more information? It really just feels like a very kind of foolish flex that he's doing for this guy. Again, the guy's like, I'll offer you twice as much. And Jinho's response is, oh, so you're going to give me 50 billion? Like, how much is your guild worth? The building, how much is it worth? That's what they're giving me. And it's like, why are you flexing right now? Like, you should be keeping as much information as possible from him. Now, if he was taking it from a direction of, I will make it sound so outlandish he won't believe it actually happened, that could be the route he takes here. But no, he's literally flexing in front of him like he's cool. Now, this could play into Jinho's character in the idea that right now he's getting full of himself. He's feeling more high and mighty, he's feeling more stronger, he's feeling more confident, and thus that could be the driving force for why he says such stupid stuff right now that obviously puts him into a bad position. He's literally giving this guy the firepower that he needs to destroy Sung's life. So that's the only way they can explain it, other than him just being foolish, is that he's just doing this for no reason, just to flex. But we'll see if it possibly turns into something in the future. But yes, he eventually threatens the guy. You've been looking into me, basically says, I'm going to kill everybody if you don't shut up. Which I don't think is going to affect the guy. This guy, there's two routes I can see this manager going in. And one of the routes is because he's saying like, oh, well, I got his contact information, or wow, this guy is more impressive than I thought he was. I've gotten into something that's more incredible than I originally thought. It could go in the direction that he could continue to dig into Sung's life and somehow get him to join the Tiger Guild, and that might blow up in his face. You could have Sung actually take him out. I don't know at this point. Again, this is kind of one of those issues that we kind of face with the fact that they're skipping content. With the last episode, they skipped the scene where Sung literally took one of those criminals, drug him, who couldn't even cry for help, by the way, because his vocal cords were cut. He drugged the guy to the boss room, threw him into the boss room to be shred by the boss before he killed the boss. Why that bugs me so much they skipped that is it shows basically cold-bloodedness. Yes, the guy deserves it, in my opinion. What they did to that guy's daughter, the guy deserves it, no doubt. But it shows that intent. He went out of his way to exact justice and kill somebody. That is quite a significant thing for somebody to do. And now he's here threatening this guy by cutting his cheek and telling him who all knows about me. It gives you a little bit more that drive of, oh yeah, Sung could do this. Like, this is not beyond his character at this point. But since we don't know that, or at least the anime onlys don't know that, you might think to yourself, would Sung even do it? Is he just threatening him? No. Me knowing that, yeah, I could see him doing that. At this point, I could see him doing that. It is definitely, well, I mean, you technically get that with him taking out the strike party, the Huang's strike party, and yes, him taking down Kang, but again, this is a different thing. This isn't self-defense. This is literally going out of his way to take somebody out. So again, it's an interesting thing to kind of keep in your mind. But yeah, the other route is that because now he has Sung's contact information, he's just like, the more route that I can see him going is just trying to get Sung to join him. Constantly give him opportunities. Hey, I have a chance. I have an opportunity here. Please come check this out. He can sit there and keep goading Sung into eventually joining him, which that might be the route they take. Who knows? But yeah, eventually Sung tricks him into buying a whole bunch of gates, even though they were going to put the gates up and cancel them anyways. And yeah, completely scams the guy as payback for looking into him. It was kind of a funny little jab in there. I think it's a good move for Sung. I think what he's essentially going for is sort of, again, it's a flex at the guy, but additionally it seemed like almost a comical gesture. Like, you know, you stab me, I stab you, let's laugh it off together. And that could technically be a good way of building not an adversarial relationship with this guy at the Tiger Guild, but almost a trust in, this is what I can do, and this is what you did to me, and let's just kind of call it even there. Let's not push this any more direction. We've hurt each other, so let's not go any further with this. So in the end, I think it's a really bold move for him to do, but additionally, I like the end to that conversation. But again, I still have my issues with how it started. But again, it could be explained by just Sung being a little bit too confident in himself. But yeah, the episode wraps up with him going off to, I'm assuming he's going off to the job change quest. So we'll see where that goes in the next episode. Looking forward to it. Could be a cool reveal with the whole job system and everything like that. I hope the job system has an interesting twist to it. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's my thoughts on episode 10 of Solo Leveling. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure that like button down below, comment. Let me know if you love the episode. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button, subscribe my content. I do news reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you like this content and you want to support the channel more, I have Patreon link, tips, links, same things, membership button below. Appreciate everybody that does, and y'all take care.